Yes, I need it when I'm older. Oh, in my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled.
Good evening and welcome to the Edna Bell Show. As you know, I am not Edna Bell, but I am sitting in for her today. I am her youngest daughter, Sonia Johnson. She's away vacationing, enjoying life, celebrating her 75th birthday. So I'm here celebrating on the show by continuing the shows she's had in the past of focusing on women who are entrepreneurs. I have a friend, a longtime friend, family member, you should say, Miss Shelley Esther.
Hi, Sonia.
Hello, Shelley.
Hey,
Thank you for
Sonia.
being on today.
You're so welcome.
As I mentioned, longtime family friend. I've known Shelley over 30 years. She is an entrepreneur. She owns her own business, and she is really focusing on not only taking care of herself, but taking care of women throughout the world. I'm going to let Shelley tell us a little bit about herself and her business.
Okay, hi, I'm Shelley Nevels Esther. I'm an independent Mary Kay beauty consultant. I've been building my business for the last 3 years.
Right, 3 years. So welcome.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us how you got into Mary Kay?
I actually went to a Mary Kay party with my best friend, and while we were there, I enjoyed all the products, and I was ready to purchase everything. And as I was tallying it up, the consultant who was giving the party, she started telling us about the business opportunity. And the more I listened to her, the more I thought about it. As you know, I have 4 children, one husband, and I have been encouraging everybody else for the last 31 years. And so I decided, well, I'm always telling everybody, you can do it, you can do it. And so at that time, I started to think, well, maybe I can do it. And it seemed like a great opportunity, especially for women, because Mary Kay focuses on empowering women.
So very important to be empowered as a woman. As Shelley said, if you're a wife, if you're a mother, if you're a caretaker of your family, you spend a lot of time taking care of others. But we don't take a lot of time taking care of ourselves. So I'm just so encouraged as a young, I have a 13-year-old son, so I'm running, but I'm encouraged what the future looks like because of watching Shelley and seeing all that she's been doing throughout the years. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do as a Mary Kay consultant?
As a Mary Kay consultant, I go into people's homes. People will come into my home, or they'll come to our studio, and we will pamper women. We'll do a facial, we'll do a mini makeover. Sometimes we'll do different treatments with ladies, so that it makes them feel good. We want people to feel good. There's no obligation to purchase anything anytime we have any event. So our goal is to make women feel good and feel good about themselves.
So I'm sure when you're in the makeup classes and you see women from different walks of life, when they hear about not only the exciting opportunity to be a business owner, but also the exciting experience of taking care of yourself, it can ignite some interesting conversations.
Almost definitely.
Can you share some of those conversations?
Well, let's see if I can think about anything
Or some of
particular.
your experience, because again, we're talking about self-care as women. So when you're doing the Mary Kay class or when you're a vendor at various events throughout the city, you have a open line of communication to minister to women, to empower women, to change women's lives. And with that, I'm just sure you have some stories for us.
Well, I've gone all over the city, and I've gone outside of the city. We've gone to homes where everybody wasn't necessarily as endowed as some other people are. And we've gone in and we've pampered women. We've pampered women who are from shelters. We've pampered women who are homeless. And just the idea that, people don't realize the power of, making somebody feel good and making them look good. Once you've, taken care of their skin and given them a little glamour, it's like a total it's a total rejuvenation of their spirit. You can see them. I mean, they just light up. Some people who've come in, who's their mother, their sister, their whoever has dragged them here. Oh, come on, come! They come out like, wow, I love this. I feel amazing. They're taking selfies of themselves. I mean, they really, really feel empowered. And there's amazing what just a little taking care of yourself can do for your spirit.
Exactly, because many times as women, we're real easy to dress ourselves up, to look good for going out, for the workplace, but inside, we got some issues.
Oh,
So when you're in an environment like that, a lot of times you can discuss those issues and really, really form a relationship and a bond with women. And that vehicle for you is Mary Kay.
yes.
That vehicle for you is being a independent Mary Kay business owner. And as I said, I've known Shelly for many, many years. And I know she's active in every aspect of her children's lives as they were growing up. Football games, track competitions in Florida, wherever. She's always there, which is important because as parents, that's what we do. We love our kids, and the return is just awesome because all of her children are doing some awesome things throughout the United States. But again, as women, we have to take care of one another and be able to look through the mask that we put on. And I've been to a couple of Shelly's parties, and the conversation is always what we go through as women. And with her gentle spirit, she can just bring smiles and laughter, sometimes tears, because of the camaraderie and the love that takes place during her skincare classes. So let me say congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. I
I
appreciate
really
it.
hope that you continue to inspire and love on not only yourself, first and foremost, and your family, but through women. And we know that can only come through the power of God.
Amen.
Because Shelley is also involved in church. Every aspect in church, particularly in working with the children's ministry and working with the choir. She's there inspiring. So congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
We're going to pause for a moment to bring in another woman who has her own business, another woman who's focusing on taking care of self as busy women. Thank you. We'll be right back. All right, thank you for joining us once again. This is the Edna Bell Show, and no, I am not Edna Bell. I am her youngest daughter, Sonia Johnson. While she's off vacation, I'm filling in for a show today, and we're continuing to talk about women entrepreneurs. We've heard from Miss Shelley Astor, who talked about her Mary Kay business. Now we have Ms. Yolanda Scarborough. Welcome, Yolanda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I've known Yolanda for about 5 years, and she's always had a sweet, sweet spirit, always wanting to give. So she has a business named Carolyn's Hope. So Yolanda, can you tell us about Carolyn's Hope?
Sure. Carolyn's Hope came out of my mother's story, actually. My mother had a disease called sickle cell anemia, and my mother wanted more than anything to own her own business. Her health kept her from doing those things that really was special to her. And so one day we were sitting in the church service, and you know how the pastor calls folks out? And he said, there's 10 people in here that have a business in them. And he began to call people out, and I'm only maybe about 13 or 14, and I'm looking at her, and she's waiting to be called out. Tears are streaming down her face, which leads tears to start streaming down my face, because this was her heart. So he does the 9th person, and finally he calls her out as the 10th person.
Wow.
Now, my mother passed away about 7, 8 years ago, and so she never lived out that dream. So Carolyn is her name. And so if you see my logo, it says Carolyn's Hope, what she could not, and then there's a small I will, because I'm living out her dream.
Okay.
That's the story of how Carolyn's Hope got started. It's
Okay.
through the love. My mother wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Wonderful, wonderful. The power of the family. It's awesome. It's awesome. The power of the role of a mother and daughter. Those things as mothers we can't do all the time. But because of what we do, and our children are always watching us, they can continue our desires, our goals, our legacy,
Yes.
so that that will can continue to be done. So wonderful testimony.
Right.
So tell us about Carolyn's Hope. What do you do?
Sure. So Carolyn's Hope, I call it the tree, and it has a few branches. My main branch is always going to be youth development. Youth development is where my heart is. Youth development is that thing I would do if it was for free. But God has graced me enough so I don't have to do it for free. So that's like a big arm of the tree. The biggest arm right now is our self-care retreats, and then there's Carolyn's Kitchen where I do catering. The self-care retreats are more the soul, the passion of what I do as a business. Because a lot of times we as black women, we love to be superwoman. We love to take on more than what we can handle.
Yes.
And we will continue to do it and continue to do it and continue to do it, and then our health will start to fail. I'm sitting here before you as a 7-year breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
And part of the reason I believe, this is my belief, that I went through what I went through is because I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to take care of me. I poured water out of my cup that wasn't even there. So I have learned since then, you can only give out of the overflow. You can't give out of something that's not there. So at the retreats, what I would like to teach the women is you don't have to come to a retreat to retreat. It's
Right.
something that's in your spirit. It starts with good mental health. So that's part of what we do at our retreats. We address your mental health. Because if you're at a doctor and your foot is hurting, they're going to fix that foot. But in a lot of times as black women, we don't address the mental health. So we address the stigma, the taboo around it, and we talk about it. Are you feeling okay? And if it's not, you're not feeling okay, get your therapist some water and let's work this out. And then the next thing we do is we kind of get to the soul of the woman. What do you enjoy doing? Do you even know what you enjoy doing anymore? Or are you somebody's wife and somebody's mother? So it brings it back to just who you are as a person, because we get torn into so many different parts and we become somebody else and we lose our identity. So this is what the Sister Self-Care Retreats is about. It's about bringing you back into balance with yourself.
So important. It just ties into what we've been talking about. As women, we wear a lot of hats, but in wearing those hats, we don't wear our own.
Come on.
So the self-care retreat,
Yes.
she mentioned that is the soul of Carolyn's Hope, one of the main branches. Tell us about the retreats, because
Sure.
several have been scheduled,
Sure.
some locally, some far away.
Right.
But again, it's just taking time out for you.
Right, right.
Which, unfortunately, as wives, mothers, first ladies at church, working full time, We don't do that.
Right,
We
right.
don't do that.
So our first retreat was kind of breaking generational curses. Um, Luckily enough, I didn't hire a social worker for this retreat, but it ended up being one in the space. And so I learned from this retreat, I'm always going to have a licensed master social worker there, because some of these women, they have years of things that are buried, things that they can't even bring out in church, because sometimes we want to cast the devil out when we should be actually getting somebody some medicine. So we have to hear what's there. These retreats are pretty heavy. So the first one was a lot heavy. And then I was like, ooh, I need some help for the second one, because I can't, these women are coming hungry. So I need to make sure my spirit is together. I need to make sure I have a licensed master social worker. So the second retreat, which was in Detroit at the Aloft Hotel downtown, this was painting your life with a twist. And this retreat was based on transition. Women that were either getting married, getting divorced, getting a new job, leaving a job, any kind of transition. One of the things I'm so proud of with our retreats that I never thought it would be this way, but we are very intergenerational. The youngest person at this last retreat was 18, the oldest was 63. And it makes for the most beautiful conversation, because all of us think we're right. But when you when you remember what it was like to be their age, and then they see what it's like to be moving towards our age, it helps bring about this great, beautiful, feminine balance. And so the next retreat that is coming up is like the big retreat. This is a 3-day rest and renewal retreat. This is a retreat where there's a pool on site, there's a jacuzzi on site, there's lakes, there's canoes, and I always try to make the retreat affordable. One woman came to the retreat and she said from the time I have the retreats to forever, she's going to dedicate paying for 2 women. So it's always going to be something that everybody can come to. This next one is a little bit more pricey, but women have the option of paying by the month. You get enough time to know that you can make payment arrangements. And pricey for everybody is different, because I think $385 for a 3-day retreat with the chef there, with the I think that's pretty cheap. You know, you're not going to get that anywhere else. So, and also this Saturday at Good Cakes and Bakes on Livernois, we're having a free retreat day. So it's called Cupcakes and Conversations, and we're going to have a social worker there, and she's going to talk to us about boundaries, because we as Black women say yes. We do not say no. It took me till I was 43 years old to know what no meant. And no is a complete sentence, and selfish is not a bad word. And so we're going to help our community know that, so their children don't take advantage of them, so our churches don't take advantage of us, so we don't take advantage of ourselves, because we're worthy. We're worthy to be loved. We're worthy to take care of ourselves. And then when we fill up our own cup, then we'll have some healthy water to pour out to somebody else. So that's kind of when I say it's the soul of what I do as a business, it's really my heart. It's not the thing that I do to make money, because you're not going to make a lot of money off of it unless we kind of do it all over the world, which, okay, if that's what's going to happen, that's fine. But right now, it really is just to help people.
So I think in both businesses, the goal is to help. That being through the skincare products, the beauty products through Mary Kay, and the retreats through the Carolyn's Hope.
Yes.
So we're talking about being entrepreneurs. So with that, how have you grown, Shelley? You've been in your business for 4 years?
No, just about 3, almost 3.
Almost 3. So can you tell us about the business side of Mary Kay and how that's been beneficial?
The business side of Mary Kay has been extremely beneficial for me, financially, as well as other things that have come from it. I've met a lot of women. I've gained a lot of friends. I've gained a lot of confidence. As you know, I'm not really one to get in front of anybody. In general, I like to stay in the background. You know, I can speak in front of people if I have to, but now I've gained a lot more confidence in myself. I've had a lot more fun. My kids say I am a lot more fun now because I'm happier. Like if when I leave to go to, we have a weekly success meeting where we also encourage each other. We get a lot of recognition. We get prizes when we go there. But when I come home, I'm happy. And when they know that I'm headed to the meeting, and they know that nothing is going to stop me from going to my meeting. Because going there, I'm encouraged, I'm inspired, we learn, we get free training, and that makes me happy. I get inspired by the women that I meet, but I also enjoy encouraging other women to come, the women who we work with, and then the women who join the business. There are a lot of women who are looking for something, and they don't know exactly what it is they're looking for. Mary Kay is one of the lowest cost upstart for business. You can start a Mary Kay business with $100, and you have everything you need. And no one is going to tell you that you have to sell anything. Nobody's going to tell you you have to be here at this time, you have to make this quota, and we have no territories. So in that, we're able to sell all around the world at our pleasure. So I think that makes us really special. It gives women a way to design their own lives. Because you can, like my youngest son is 17 now, but with my business, I'm able to go to everything that he's done over the last few years. I can go to all the to football games. I could go to track meets. I could go when he has any kind of award ceremony, anything that's going on. If there's something going on at church, I can do that. I know that Mary Kay philosophy is God first, family second, career third. I've had a couple of other jobs, and that's never been the case. I've taught school for a really long time, and that was not the case. If I were to say that I may not be able to come tomorrow, my child is sick, they, depending upon the person who was the administrator at the time, would prefer that I come in and leave my sick child. Mary Kay, God first, family second, career third.
Thank you, and I love how you talked about the happiness that comes with your job. Because yes, money is important, but that peace and that happiness is just as important. And looking at the day-to-day, the in and out of life, you have to be able to be happy with what you're doing because it motivates you to do even more. So again, thank you. And the business side of Carolyn's Hope.
So the business side has been, for me, because I'm still working a full-time job, pretty tedious. It has been a lot of work. So I've gotten into, this year I call this a year where I'm investing in myself. So I've gotten a life coach to help me with some things I need some coaching on. I also have gotten a business coach that's helping me with some things. But what I found is the business side has actually brought a lot of humility because we seem to think that if we're working for ourselves, that's going to be an easy job. That actually takes more dedication and determination to work for yourself than it does for another job. You have to push yourself past, it's Saturday, I just want to rest and lounge. No, I can't rest and lounge. I have to get about the business of the business. So I've learned a lot from being an entrepreneur, even as far as customers, because sometimes our customers aren't the nicest. And woo, Lord, I do not believe the philosophy that the customer's always right, but at the same time, I want them in my customer base, so I have to learn how to deal with a lot of different personality types. So it's and I've always done it in my career, but it's usually been with the young people. So to have to deal with these customer types as an adult, it's really been really humbling. I have learned that everybody has a story. Everybody comes to you the way they are for a reason. And really, as an entrepreneur, what I've learned is it's actually softened me as a human because I'm willing to listen to other people's story. I thought it was real interesting that you have a 17-year-old son. I have a 17-year-old son, too. My youngest, it's my last baby before I go back to, before my house is empty. I've had 6 children. And it's really my hope for this year to be my last year working. I've been working since I was 14 years old. That's 31 years. This is the time where people normally retire. And so I'm retiring. And I'm about to live life on my terms the way I want to. So being an entrepreneur opens up that door for you. But I don't want anybody to think, well, it's not that much work if you're running your business. It is more work than you ever have done. And out of a 24-hour day, you're probably working good 18 to 20 hours. So don't come into it. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not. If you think you're working hard at your job, you're doing nothing until you work for yourself.
Famous last words. And again, yes, you're putting time, energy, but it's well worth it, right? Because you are taking care of you. And that's what the self-care theory is about, taking care of yourself. And again, we don't do that. We see a lot of women who have health issues, that being mental health and physical health issues, because they have not learned just to say no.
That's right.
Just to step back, to do something fun, have a massage, have a facial. All that ties into the energy you bring into your home. So, as we close, I would like to leave that with you, that you have to look at the energy you bring into your home. Because as women, we set the tone
Yes, we
Most
do.
definitely.
for the whole household. We set the tone. So it's important that we take that time to take care of ourselves. And I just want to piggyback as a social worker who's an attendance agent for Detroit Public Schools. I see a lot of families that are hurting. And for me, I understand as a social worker the background behind the hurt and the process of healing. But unfortunately, there are a lot of educators who don't. Some do, but a lot of them don't. So when you talk about the generation of women who function for so long in a certain way that's negative to themselves and to the family, you want to look at bringing about a change and look at how you can bring about a change and look at a change can be made. So again, that comes, I'm sure it comes through your self-retreats as well as your Mary Kay classes. And again, we have to support one another and be open to where a woman is.
Yes.
And be open to the experience that they've had, which we don't know about. You know, we have to lean on the Holy Spirit to guide us and lead us as we minister to them, because that's what you're doing, you're ministering to the community. And that's what we really need to get back to, taking care of our community and not relying on institutions to do it, but go back to doing it for one another, because that's how we of African Americans have survived throughout the years, taking care of one another. So again, congratulations. You want to leave your information to
Sure.
the community?
Sure. You can find me at Carolyn's, and then it's a -hope.com. That's my website, and I'm also on Facebook. I really want women to come out this Saturday from 2 to 3:30. I'll be at Good Cakes and Bakes. The event is totally free. Come out, get some cupcakes, learn about self-care, and hear how to put up those great boundaries, not walls. It's going to be at Good Cakes and Bakes on Livernois.
So we know that the Avenue of Fashion is coming back.
Yes,
and
it
there are
is.
lots of
It totally
business. So are we talking about close to Outer Drive?
Thank you.
Or
It's
close to
actually
7
thank you.
Mile? Or
It's
what area?
actually, if you're at Cuzzles, everybody
Right.
kind of knows where that is. If you go about 2 to 3, 4 buildings down, April's Good Cakes and Bakers there. She was just on Good Morning America for Mother's
Oh,
Day.
wow.
Her and her,
Good Morning
yeah,
America.
Yeah, that was
her,
great.
Yeah, her and her mother were on there making cupcakes. So come on down. She, if it's a community event, she'll let you have free space there as long as it's free for the community. So it's really, I appreciate her for that as well.
Okay. And Ms.
And
Shelley?
I can be found on Facebook, Shelley Nevels Esther, and I can also be found on the web at www.marykay.com/SNEVELS-ESTER.
Ooh, that's a lot. Can you repeat that?
I know. It's my initial. It's marykay.com/SNevels-Esther, ESTER.
Right. And I didn't get to say my last arm of Carolyn's Hope. It is Carolyn's Kitchen. So if you're looking for some good catered, delicious food for open houses, weddings, that's the last arm of the branch of the tree. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, in the spirit of collaboration, in the spirit of sisterhood, I'm hoping you all can get together.
I
was
Come out to a retreat. Help us with our
Right,
faith. That's something we haven't done.
Definitely.
Right. Because again, we have to work together
Yeah, that would be great.
to bring about a real change throughout the
Yes.
community. We have all these great resources
Yes.
and great talents and gifts that God has given us. A lot of times we want to hold on to it, but we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to share.
That's right.
Share. So thank you so much, ladies, for
Thank
coming
you
for
on. I
having
hope
us.
So
you all
much.
have been blessed
Yes.
and encouraged. I know you talked about the confidence
Oh, definitely.
you received through being an entrepreneur
Yes.
through Mary Kay, and I know that you continuing your mother's legacy
Yes.
is just brings tears of joy every
Yes.
time you're able to
does.
actually put in practice what mom wanted to do. So again, and thank you for listening and allowing me to serve you today in the role as radio host. Miss Bell, my mother, will be back next week, and I'm sure she'll have something exciting for you as always. Again, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. This broadcast is brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit.